tournament yet again? Illinois, can they contend for the Big Ten and beyond? It's a New Year non-conference statement game in Chicago. Happy New Year from Chicago, and welcome to the United Center, where today it's a matchup of Gonzaga and Illinois. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy holidays to all of you. Don Criqui with Bill Raftery. Gonzaga has been a perennial NCAA tournament team. 11 straight years the Zags have gone to postseason play. And now we're going to find out if they're as good as years past. This is a big test.
How about the traveling? I mean, they are excellent, and they're good come postseason because they're not afraid to play anybody, any place. Of course, frequent flyer numbers are up for Mark Few and his guys. They'll be a little bit fatigued. The beginning of the game is very important for them.
In the back line, Matt Bolden is the key guy for Gonzaga. A good scorer, a good defender, and a team leader.
Talented. He understands the game. He can get in the lane and create for others. Gives it up beautifully. I think the biggest asset he has is bringing a smaller guy down into the box to either finish or find a partner. Of course, when you think of Illinois, the bigs have to provide an extraordinary lift. The ability to shoot outside. Tisdale on the pick and pop is extraordinary. Davis, a guy that can go inside or step out. They need a big performance today.
And now, Bill, let's check the AT&T in-game analysis.
The pause, you've got to be refreshed by getting some offensive rebound. I think Illinois gives up a lot of them. And, of course, the bigs for Illinois, they're going to have to do a great job to bring in this new year correctly. They need some numbers. And, of course, Bolden, a guy we mentioned, has to do a lot of things well for Gonzaga to prevail.
Both these teams coming off impressive wins. The Illini beat previously unbeaten Northwestern their last time out, and Gonzaga dominated Oklahoma. The lineups and the tip-off are next after this word from your local station. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by State Farm. To us, nothing's more important than being there. Sears, life well spent. And by Bud Light, with just the right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. And here we are at the United Center, sold out, 19,000 plus, standing room only. The Illini and the Bulldogs of Gonzaga. Mark Few, the head coach of Gonzaga, has done a tremendous job there in his 11th season. The NCAA tournament's a regular stop for them, Bill Raftery.
Yeah, he's consistent with his team, no question about it.
We look now at the starting lineups for the Zags. Dimitri Goodson, a very quick guard in the backcourt. Bolden's a big scorer, very, very good player. Stephen Gray is coming on. And you go up front, and Elias Harris, a terrific freshman. And Robert Sacre, the 7-foot center in the middle. He's a sophomore. For the Illini, Dimitri McCamey working in the backcourt right now on the pre-conference schedule. Yeah, he is averaging 5.6 assists a game. That's #1 in the Big Ten. Mike Davis, a very strong rebounder, and Tisdale's coming off a career game. He had 31 in that win over Northwestern. The previous unbeaten Northwestern Wildcats falling to Illinois. The Big Ten opener for both. There's Bruce Weber, head coach.
Bruce's biggest concern is his defense. Are they going to improve as the year progresses? And the one thing about the Zags, Don, a lot of these guys can put it on the deck, get in the lane, and be very creative.
Well, Bruce Weber last year, that was their calling card. Great defense, as you know, Bill. They led the Big Ten in scoring defense, allowed just 57 points a game. But their best defender has graduated. And now we're ready to go. The Zags in blue are officials. Dick Hartnell, Mike Reed, and Deron White.
And Don Criqui. The Zags go.
And a man it is. They'll play some 2-3 zone as the game wears on.
A lot of motion, a lot of pick and pops by the Illini.
Illinois comes in with a 9-4 overall record. I don't know when Big Ten play this, of course, a non-conference matchup. McCamey, line drive jumper, rebounded nicely by Elias Harris, and here come the Zags.
Sacre did a great job standing Tisdale up. He doesn't like those big bodies around his legs.
Here's Bolden. He'll drive if there's a gap.
And Bolden's got a perfect match at it. Now they switch back.
Harris shot no good, but the Zags up the ball. Then they lose it. Here is the freshman guard who's played so well. E.J. Richardson, and now it's turned back over to the Zags. Coming full speed ahead on a 3-on-2.
Harris is tough, and he puts it on the deck, crossover. He manufactured a post up the last time. Very tough guy to defend against.
He's a freshman from Speyer, Germany. His dad, and member of the U.S. Army. Sam Tisdale, that's his first. Harris has a couple of good games recently. And Monday, 22 and a win over Eastern Washington. In December, he had a 24 and 12 rebounds and a win over Washington State.
Now they can score. That's the one thing this team can do. They get up and down the floor. They can beat you with threes. Last night, a number of them against Oklahoma in an outstanding win.
Both these teams have shown they can come from behind. Illinois had some fantastic wins. They were down by 23 at one point in the second half against Clemson. Came back and won.
Some comeback. It really was. Outstanding start to value the ball. They turned it over early against Clemson. Pin downs.
Mark Fuse, the big thing is we have to really push up on them on defense because they've got big guys that we don't have the height to match up with. Got to deny.
I'll tell you, Illinois' got to get something going to the rim. They got Tisdale off the ball, knocking Sacre down. That doesn't seem fair. The skinny guy.
Tisdale just got its second bill.
That changes everything for them.
Young man who trying to build him up. They had him a 6,000 calorie a day diet. Put on 40 pounds.
You can see the two of them just teeing up, and Tisdale just really fighting for position. That's one of those they're going to just let go, play on.
There's Bolden, not quite enough on it. And a push off underneath, looking for rebounding position. Sacre is called for the foul. His first.
His first, team's first.
Bolden, as you know, Bill, suffered a concussion earlier and seems to be back in good form now.
Well, Mark thinks he's doing very well. I felt when I watched the Duke game that he was still struggling. It was his first game back from the concussion. His numbers aren't the same, but they feel he's comfortable and playing well.
Richardson had the ball knocked out of his hands and we back inbounds to the Illini.
And check those numbers out. You can see this disparity of sorts. They need him to perform at a high level. Oh, not a. This is an easy goal, just stripped on the.
Good defense by Illinois as they had Bolden the drive. I asked Bolden, Bill, what the difference between this team and last year's is. This is a tougher, grittier, more aggressive Gonzaga team.
Yeah, they run down the rebound. This time Illinois having trouble with his offensive glass. Not too bad. A lot of guys can burn you. Stephen Gray puts it on the deck when he has to, and also can burn you deep.
Goes outside the pro arc. He wants that. Pass sets up the shooter, doesn't go.
Keller can make those, but they've got to get something going at the 10. Sacre, the guy likes to go to his right shoulder when he's on the box. Over his left shoulder, I should say, with the right hook.
Mark Few, Zaga coach, said an opinion on moving the ball against this Illinois defense.
And they're a better team when they do that, Don. Get it on both sides of the floor.
The three rims out for Brandon Paul, a very good freshman player. Big guard.
And they have not put their foot in the painted area. Oh.
The shooter is left open. Elias Harris, the freshman, now has 5. And an 8-0 for the Zags on the road.
Tough shot. At least it's around the rim.
Gonzaga, Bill, of course, talking about we've got to get off to a good start, and they're doing that.
Too easy a catch, Don, in that low area. They don't look tired, do they?
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah, very fresh.
At the end of this trip, going back to Spokane, Gonzaga will have traveled in the pre-conference schedule over 16,000 miles. Bolden not getting any good looks
Look
yet.
at this. What an entry pass from the top. Harris and Sacre, the quick timeout by Illinois. Not excellent D, not harassing the passer and letting guys post up.
This is a 30-second
So the Bulldogs of Gonzaga come out running and scoring and take a 10-0 lead on Illinois. Don Criqui with Bill Raftery back at the United Center in Chicago. Fast start for Gonzaga on the road. Poor shooting, Bill, for Illinois.
Unbelievable. And deep shots, too. Not really getting any rhythm. One turnover. And I think that timeout is basically to do some things at the rim. Pin your guy down, try and lock low, and get to the foul line at least on one of these trips.
Bruce Weber's team off to an 0-for-7 shooting start.
You would think if anybody's a little